What's going on YouTube? It's Mike here. Today guys, in this video, I'm going to be showing you my top hidden features in iOS 9. So iOS 9 has been out for a little over a month now, and while it may seem like a small update, not a huge difference in UI changes, visually, or whatever you want to call it, there's actually a lot of under-the-hood improvements and changes that you're really going to like, and so that's why I got this video together, since, you know, there's some new features in iOS 9 that you may not see off the bat, but when you do find them out in this video, you're going to fall in love with them. So the first thing you'll notice right off the bat is the brand new font that Apple has gone ahead and put into iOS 9. Now this is also in OS X 10.11 El Capitan, and it actually derives from the Apple Watch, which is Apple's own San Francisco font, which they've designed in-house, and as you can see, it does look very nice and very different at that. The next feature is a new 6-digit passcode, so you can see there's 6 blank spaces at the top here instead of 4. Now, of course, I could use my fingerprint for Touch ID, but if that's not being accepted, or if I need to pass my phone on to somebody to use and they need to put my code in, or if it ends up in the wrong hands and somebody's trying to break my phone open, they don't have my fingerprint, but they do need a passcode, now there is a 6-digit passcode. And I've gone ahead and set one, and I'm very happy about this feature because it increases the chances of my phone not being broken into if it's ever lost or stolen. Another new feature Apple went ahead and put in iOS 9 is the upper and lowercase shift key feature. So as you can see, as I touch the shift key, the actual keys on the keyboard change from uppercase to lowercase. It used to just be completely uppercase, and just like this, and now when you press it to shut it off, they all get lowercase. So this is really cool because now it's even easier to tell when, you know, the keys are either caps or not. Now, this next feature would be in Settings General, and it would be right here, there's a string. This one actually allows you to change what the function of the side ringer switch is. Very similar to the iPad, whether you could either mute it or use it to lock for portrait orientation. Now, this is something that I really do like as a feature. However, in iOS 9 Beta 3 or Beta 2, I never really paid attention to it. It seems like at one point it was pulled. Now, the only reason why I could assume this is maybe there was a glitch with it, and Apple wants to further test it with their developers in-house only. So I'm hoping that this is something that's added to the final release. However, they may have just scratched it at the end, but it's something I did want to bring up and mention because that's a really cool feature that I think should have stayed featured in iOS 9 for the iPhone and iPod Touch users, similar to the iPad, of course. Now, when you're typing in iOS 9, you will notice that character preview is gone, and that means when you press one of the keys on the keyboard, you'll notice that when you press it, there isn't a little preview of what the actual key is, or a bubble, whatever you want to call it, will actually pop up. Now, by default in iOS 9, this is shut off. If you want, you can go into Settings, turn Character Preview back on, and as you can see, right there again, you have previews of what the actual letters are. However, I think Apple went ahead and got rid of this by default because with the bigger screens, you just don't really need it. And we're all used to typing on iPhone keyboards now, aren't we? Now, another new feature in iOS 9 is the ability to scroll easily through text, which you could regularly do with the magnifying glass that's been present in iOS for years. However, now on the keyboard, you could take 2 fingers and swipe through text very easily. I had this working on the second beta, but on Beta 3, it doesn't seem to be working anymore, and so maybe Apple pulled it out for a sec again to test this feature in-house, and hopefully we'll see it added in the final version, or in a sooner beta at that. Now, the next new feature is rounded dialog boxes, and as you can see here, I have a timer done notification, but you could notice that the notification dialog box is much more rounded and is not as flat as previous iOS versions. This is really cool to see as it matches up with the icons and the rest of the iOS, so everything just feels a little bit softer and more user-friendly. And, you know, we always take notice of the little things that Apple does. Another new feature in iOS 9 is a new Apple Pay shortcut which can be accessed from the home screen. All you have to do is simply double tap the home button, and that goes ahead and brings up your debit or credit card that you have here. So it brought up my debit card and immediately allows me to pay with Touch ID. Now this is really convenient. Normally you'd just be able to hold your phone to the reader and it would come up, but if you're ever having issues, you can now just know to quickly double tap and immediately it will come up for you. Another new feature in iOS 9 is Siri now has haptic vibration feedback. Now this is really cool. It's a lot similar to the Apple Watch. So when I hold down for Siri, you can hear my phone actually vibrate. Now I have my phone on mute, so that's why you didn't hear the Siri sounds. There's also a couple glitches in iOS 9 Beta 3 with that, but even when I press, you can still hear my phone vibrating. In iOS 9, you'll take note that Newsstand is now gone. And in iOS 9 Beta 3, it is replaced by the News app, and I have that running right here. I've had a chance to play around with it a little bit. It's a brand new app that replaces the Newsstand app. It's very different. It's basically like the Flipboard made by Apple, just not with the cool Flipboard UI, of course. Okay, so the next feature that I want to show you guys is actually within the entire iOS. So for example, I'll simply swipe in here to the Siri suggestions, the Proactive Assistant new feature. We've gone over that, but for example, if I simply tap an app like Settings, you'll see in the top here I have this new Back To type of feature. Now, this isn't just for search in particular, but it's actually across the entire OS. For example, if I'm in the YouTube app and let's say that I go ahead and open a separate link elsewhere, as soon as it goes to that app, you'll see in the top corner there it'll say Back To, and it'll tell me exactly which app it is that I was previously in, and I could just simply tap it and it'll take me back to exactly where I was. That way it saves you a whole ton of time, so you don't have to go into the app switcher and grab that app that you were previously in. It's actually really convenient. The next feature is actually within Settings, and I call this one Search Settings, and I guess that's what anybody would call it, but it says up here literally Search Settings, and so you could basically up here search for any string if you're ever following a tutorial or need to find something specific that you just can't. This is the place where you'd go to. So for example, I could say Wi-Fi, and there it comes right up there. Now let's search for something more difficult, maybe within accessibility, and that's maybe grayscale. That's a good feature, and so there you could see it shows grayscale is at General, Accessibility, and Vision, and I could just tap it and it'll take me right there and it highlights it and shows me exactly where I can grab it. So it's pretty cool and convenient. This is another cool feature, something I've kind of wanted for a long time. Now this feature allows you to enable and disable flash when you're actually recording. So I'll go ahead and start recording video. Normally in previous iOS versions you wouldn't be able to do this, but now you could simply come up here and tap on and immediately flash will go on, just like that, and you can also shut it off or even switch it to auto based on whether you're in a dark or light position, which is a awesome feature to begin with, especially with the camera, and now it's even better when you're actually taking videos. Another new feature in iOS 9 is the ability to swipe to delete alarms. This is a feature I've kind of been waiting for a long time, and so versus actually going into edit and then selecting the alarm and pressing delete alarm, now it's very simple. You just swipe to delete an alarm. It can't get easier than that. Now here's another feature. In iOS 9, when you open up a photo, and this can be in pretty much any app that Apple makes, you can actually now swipe to dismiss photos. This is really cool. This is a feature that's very popular in, for example, the Tweetbot or regular Twitter app. I believe it's in there too. There's a lot of really cool animations when it comes to photos, and I'm so happy that Apple brought it to the Photos app. It's just so much easier than pressing the actual photo and freaking hitting done or back or whatever the case may be. I just love being able to swipe down and have it done very quickly. It just feels a lot better. This is another cool one, and that actually is a batteries tab within Notification Center, which shows you what not only your iPhone battery is on, but as well as your watch battery. And I guess this is kind of cool. I mean, it's easy for me to just look on my Apple Watch and see the battery, especially if I have a battery-enabled clock face. Right now I have the time-lapse one, but I guess this is kind of convenient. I do wish, however, vice versa, on the Apple Watch you could see your iPhone's battery percentage by default with Apple. I actually bought an app for 99 cents that allows me to do it, but I shouldn't have to pay 99 cents. Apple, that should be a freaking feature that you throw in. I mean, come on. In iOS 9, you can select multiple photos at once very quickly. So you just hit the select button up here at the top, simply grab on one and drag all across all the photos that you want to get rid of. It's as simple as that. This next feature in iOS 9 is pretty cool, and this is called the Video Scrubber. And this actually allows you to navigate back and forth within a video that you've taken, and you can very slowly scrub between frames and pick out where you want to play from or where you want to cut the clip from, where you want to edit it, whatever you want. This is a pretty cool feature, and you can very easily and precisely go back or go to a specific place in the video, which for me, I really like. Now, this next feature actually allows you to zoom in on video playback in your camera roll or wherever the video may be in iOS 9. This is a feature that is on the iPad that I absolutely love, and I'm so happy that Apple brought it to the iPhone. It's definitely a favorite of mine. And finally, the last feature that I want to show to you guys is low power mode. Now, Apple is very big on iOS 9 with performance and stability fixes across tons of issues. So right here in settings, you have this new battery tab, which allows you to keep track of everything within the battery, you know, battery percentage and stuff like that. But you also have this new low power mode setting, which when turned on, will turn your battery yellow, interesting, and this feature will temporarily reduce power consumption until you can fully charge your iPhone. When it's on, mail fetch, background app refresh, automatic downloads, and some visual effects are reduced or disabled for the sake, of course, of your battery. And so this is a really convenient feature. As you can see, my display is already fading. That's a feature I hate and always have shut off. But with this feature, it will allow you to obviously consume your battery a lot less at a better rate for you, more convenient, so that it doesn't die as quickly. And especially if you have an older device that doesn't have a gigantic battery like my 6 Plus here, then that's definitely going to come in handy. Also at 20% automatically, and I think 10% as well, you know, when you regularly get the warnings that you have low battery, you'll have the option to automatically turn on low power mode, which again, very convenient. So that about wraps it up for this video, guys. Those are my top hidden features in iOS 9. If you guys like this video, maybe want to see another one, because there are just so many different hidden features in iOS 9. I could probably make a video of 100 of them. You could just go on all day. Let me know down in the comments section below. I know you guys like seeing videos like this. If you guys like this video, please be sure to leave some comments below on your thoughts. Of course, rate this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Mike's iOS Help. I'm also on Periscope at Mike Cronin. I'm doing broadcasts there now, so go check it out. I'll leave that in the description as well. That's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.